I decided to think of what I thought the hardest structure to rebuild after the Lego apocalypse was. And I think the hardest thing to do with Legos is gonna be an aquarium.
Yeah, Legos really aren't waterproof.
Yeah, so that's the very first problem. And I think you can get past that either using the chemical that you mentioned, or, glue can make the gaps waterproof. Like, you can waterproof things.
Right.
So the water leaking out is not the biggest problem. The problem is water pressure. So the smaller aquarium tanks, like the ones on the walls, like you have like your big fancy tanks with the sharks and stuff in them. Then you got the ones where like the display ones, where like they have like little, it'll be like, hey, there's these 8 fish in this little tank. Check it out. They're typically about 2,000 gallons, which translates out to about 11 feet wide, 6 feet tall, and then 4 feet deep, going back for a display tank. If you take that, at the bottom of the glass, the water pressure is 375 pounds per square foot, which water adds up real quick. So going into my structural degree, at 11 feet wide, the water pressure generates a bending moment of 5,671 foot-pounds at the center of the wall, which doesn't really mean too much as a number, but it's basically how much is trying to push the center of the wall out. And so what are we resisting that with? The problem with Legos is they're made out of plastic, and there's not that many transparent ones.
There are some, though.
There are some. The biggest one I found is the 1x6x5 clear panel, which is 1 stud thick, 6 studs wide, and 5 studs tall. So this is the biggest one that's going to give you probably the biggest viewing area that you're going to get out of a single brick, which is 2 inches by 2 inches. So it's already not great, but it's what you have to work with. And I've seen these bricks before. I have a couple like at home, and I can tell you are not going to be able to see through 2 of them back to back. So you have 1 brick thick to work with. So doing the same thing where I ignored the seams between the bricks, because I actually couldn't find any data on how strong Lego connections are, which is pretty bizarre to me that doesn't exist.
It's actually a little weird, yeah.
A million reports on how strong Legos are, but all of them are like, talk about the plastic strength. And I'm like, no, tell me how they connect. Anyhow, so the maximum bending moment, which from the water pressure was 5,600, that a 1-piece thick Lego wall can resist, is only 1,000 foot-pounds. So about 20% of what we needed for a 6-foot deep tank. Which means we can only make water tanks as deep as 1 foot if we want to be able to see into them. So that's a problem. You're gonna have to give up some of the bigger fish, aka all the bigger fish. So what can you do with an aquarium where you can only have water that's 1 foot deep? Some basic stuff is still intact. Like you have your touch tank. Maybe it's slightly shallower and friendlier and smaller than it was, but that's gonna work for you. But you need some kind of draw to bring people in. Nobody's gonna come in to look at a bunch of puddles. And doing some research online, one thing I found that is not in aquariums, but is done in a few bars across the country, is goldfish racing.
What?
Where you make a small channel, and you like have a bunch of them next to each other, separated, and then you put a goldfish in each one, and then you can race the goldfish to the end. So the bar version is like, it's like maybe like, 4 or 5 inches each one, and then, the bar patrons can like mess with, splash a little bit or something to motivate the fish to like, to get to the end. But I think in an aquarium, you can just do like a super legit version of this. So like in my head, my like end game picture is you basically have like a hamster maze of like these 1 foot tall like tunnels like going across, like maybe a wall has like 6 stacked on top of each other, and like there's some shooting across the room. And maybe you got like some cameras and stuff to like show which races are going on. And for like a foot deep tank, what you are gonna have enough space to have like the goldfish racers and some predator fish. Like you have your bait fish do the racing, and like your bigger fish that are the cool fish like chasing the fish that are racing to motivate them to go through. So you're gonna have some really cool action just going on all the time. Like it's just gonna be an interlocked maze, and there's gonna be fish like zooming by all the time.
So just to make this perfectly clear, you have taken aquariums, one of our nation's foremost like educational experience for children, and turn it basically into a combination of horse racing and dog fighting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Think how much
awesome.
money they're gonna
That sounds
make now.
cool. Yeah.
They're going to be able to make so much money off the betting so that they can have, like, more money to teach the children about, betting odds and where
It's really about math, It's learning about probability.
Look, if you have the gift shop and you have, like, team shirts for, like, your fish that won that day, you're going to sell so much more merchandise. This is going to be actually, like, a more awesome business that you could just do. There's nothing preventing you from making this.
Yeah, you can do it right now.
Maybe PETA. PETA might try to stop you.
PETA did shut down a bar that was doing goldfish racing.
That's
I was
actually
very upset. Well,
incredibly
not like shut down the bar, but,
Right.
I guess sent the owner a bunch of emails until they were like, I'm sick of these fucking emails from PETA. I guess I'll just change my Tuesday activity to, like, regular trivia. But, I mean, I think I fixed aquariums. Which is all I needed to do with Legos.
So
and now I'm just gonna.
You said the tunnels are going to be in like mazes?
Well, yeah, like they'll be like just in my head, like there'll be like a tunnel shooting like over the over a walkway that you're going by, and like a few.
Okay.
So they're just like they're everywhere.
I imagined like a hamster maze for a goldfish, which like
I mean, you could do that too.
Goldfish aren't really known for their memory.
They're specifically known not for their memory.
Yeah. They are known for their memory, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
I would grow this aquarium though. I think I'm excited about it.
I would too.